such matches give them to really non-nonsensical.
So in his Saturday job is, of course, to referee in the most watched league.
Yeah.
I wonder what Daniel Siebert prefers to do: teach high school kids or to
but I mean, he teaches sports, so for him, it's not far away from his profession, because in the Bundesliga we have all sorts of professions. Like the number one referee here, Dr. Felix Bach, he's a doctor, right? We have lawyers, we have carpenters, we only miss a journalist. Maybe, Kai, I should send you there. You represent all of us.
I don't know about that.
Bundesliga.
Of course, as journalists, we're good. We have to be impartial. It's definitely true.
Yeah,
but
we just miss someone from the communications sector. Let me put it that way. But we have all sorts of professions. And for Daniel Siebert to be here, well, he's better placed because he's a sports teacher anyway.
Another tough challenge coming in here, this time by the Dutchman, Wouter Berger, as he knocks over, I believe it was Zabit, no, it was Job Bellingham. We bit the dust there, but now he's back up on his feet as Dortmund move it to the right wing side, tried to go forward, but very solid defending there by the men in blue of Hoffenheim as they try to move forward. And it's again that danger man, Fizlik, Aslani, making things happen. And Isaac, I have to say, I've been really impressed with Fiznik Aslani, Kosovo international. He's a dangerous player because he's two-footed and he can score with both feet.
Yes, I mean, by all means, having a two-footed player is the pride of every coach or team. However, the challenges have always been, if you find an equal-footed player, sometimes they ask them, which one is your foot likely to be on target when you choose to use it? And some of them are not so sure. You know, that's always the challenge. Sometimes if they're equally at the same pace. But of course, I mean, it's good news that she's been given that Aslani, and even the position he plays. Oh, that's an A+.
Well, Fiznik Aslani coming here again. He might be in again, although the Hoffenheim come forward again. It's now Lempele tries to get it to Aslani, goes down on the center of the box, but the referee's not interested in blowing it. But Dortmund managed to move the ball forward. Actually, Fiznik Aslani is one of 3 Kosovo players in the starting lineup here, believe it or not, for the Hoffenheim. The others being Albion Hajdari and Leon Abdullah, who's playing in midfield, the number 7.
Yes, Leon Abdullah.
Yeah, apologies for
tough names here. Yes, so if we stump on them, I mean, they really don't have so many players of African origin apart from Bazumana Toure.
From the Ivory Coast?
Yeah, from the Ivory Coast. For the Bundesliga. amazing. It doesn't get any better than that when you have a mix of players.
Well, Isaac, of course, it obviously shows off the multinational way of world football nowadays, is to see many players who born in one country but represent another or represent a country of their birth. There are a number of players that are like that. Too many to mention, actually, if we look at it.
Yes, but surprisingly, Kai, we have so many players of Congolese descent, Democratic Republic of Congo. So after they qualified for the World Cup after 52 years, they've been calling up them. They're saying, hey, please, don't forget your country, even though you're French, even though you're German, even though you're Congolese, whatever, Austrian, come back and pitch in. We need you.
It's true. It's not just the Democratic Republic of Congo. The scouts from Morocco, as well as Algeria, many countries, and Ghana is another one where they've actually gone to or tried to recruit players who come from the diaspora, but maybe ply their trade in Europe. But it's probably also a very legitimate thing, actually.
Yes, I think for Congolese, the difference is that they're pleading with them. Morocco has many players. Even, I mean, it has been appearing at the World Cup stage for some time now. But the Congolese, they're pleading with them, saying, please, please, come. We have never needed you that now. And I can understand them. If you're last there, 1974, this is not the AFCON. This is not any other tournament. It's not a regional tournament. It's the World Cup. So you basically have to plead with everyone. They just come and they just try to make it and see,
Well, for many of the players, they may play at a high level, but the chances of them maybe breaking into the England national team or the Spain national team is probably not that likely. And, for many players to have a chance to play at least once at the World Cup is, of course, a very big deal, I think.
It's a big deal.
Anyway, as we back onto this game here with Dortmund, I have to be honest with you, Isaac. I've not been impressed at all with Dortmund. They've created nothing. In fact, it's Hoffenheim as they come forward again, but Korbel is able to snuff out the danger really early. Dortmund have done nothing going forward.
And I think if I don't know, they might give the trophy to Bayern Munich before even Bayern plays tomorrow, because there's a game, and technically or mathematically, if they stumble, I think that the league, we shall be done with the league, Kai, unless my mathematics is not mathing.
Well, yeah, just for our fans to know that basically if Bayern Munich are able to get 3 points tomorrow against Stuttgart, which is a big ask because Stuttgart is the third best team in the Bundesliga at the moment, they will be crowned German champions yet again. However, if Dortmund already lose today and are unable to keep the pressure on Bayern Munich, then it could be that Bayern already are crowned champions today.
They will be crowned with some games, with a few games at hand, because I guess today we are on game 31, Kai, right?
No, we're on match 30 today.
Match 30, yes.
Still got 5. We still got 5.
We still got
4
5
games. We've only got 4 games.
4 games, so you can imagine.
Yeah.
4 or 5 games. You can imagine being crowned when you have 4 games ahead of you. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, there's still a lot of football to be played. We've only played Traore, almost actually kind of lucky not to get into the book there of referee Siebert, but we go on now as Dortmund try to build from the back. Waldemar Anton is another member who could be playing for the German national team, or do you think that position is not really available to him, that centre-back position, Isaac?
Yes, but Anton also has a way, like the previous game he played, he was switching from midfield, coming back in the defense, even though his position was so clear. At some stage, he was being called on to really support the midfield. Even it didn't pay off. There is a lot at stake for the Dortmund defenders to prove that they can really step up to the plate if they are called for national duty. They have to win to gain that trust.
And it's true, actually, we're having a look at the Dortmund defense. It's an all-German defense there with Schlotterbeck, Anton, and Niklas Zule. I don't think Niklas Zule will be in Germany's considerations because that position is normally occupied by Joshua Kimmich.
Yes. Yeah.
Probably has got the Bayern Munich captain there, probably has the upper hand in that position.
Yeah, definitely. And quite also interestingly is that such big games, the national team coaches or managers are closely watching, not because they have come to support teams where they once coached, but to kind of scout, and make sure that they will make the right choices when it comes to selecting the team for the World Cup.
Yeah, true, and we'll obviously be keeping a close look at that. The final squads have not yet been announced for the World Cup, but they are soon due, and we of course will keep you informed of those, no matter what your favorite team is. Remember that our teams from the African continent are playing at the World Cup. This is the most African teams ever to participate in a FIFA World Cup. When you were mentioning when the Democratic Republic of Congo last played as Zaire in 1974, they were the only Africa representatives.
Yes, they were the only ones, and it's quite a long time. There's some clips that I watched when they played against Brazil. Oh, they got really a whopping, but they came up with their pride. Said we have been there, we've made it.
But of course, at this World Cup, there are 10 African teams playing, including Ivory Coast, Senegal, Cape Verde Islands, South Africa.
Wow, and Ghana also. We're seeing a play here that Dortmund narrowly missed. Bayer was just a few inches to knocking it inside.
But Dortmund again losing possession and giving it back. I think that's been the most disappointing part of Dortmund's game so far. They've not really held possession of the ball for very long. In fact, looking at the passing efficiency of Dortmund, they're only at 80%, which is not that high for them. And they've not had a single shot on target so far. It's been actually a very disappointing offensive performance, I think.
It is. I mean, I think also Hoffenheim they've been winless in four fixtures, and they're under pressure to really kind of run away with points, just like Leverkusen ran away with 3 points at Signal Iduna Park last weekend. We were here and we were really, really surprised, you know.
Well, here they come. They've got a good chance here, do Hoffenheim, and it's just knocked in and they're unable to get it. Korbel gets ahead on it. He made a massive save there on number 27 over there, Andrei Kramaric, who really should have done better. He had a free chance and that even he was holding his head in his hands, knowing he should have done better there. Really good all-round play, good pass over the head there, and not quite the finish he was looking for, but Korbel probably made that look easier than it actually was. So good effort by him.
Yeah, it was really a good attempt, only that it lacked the gas or the benzene, maybe still held up at coming through the Strait of Hormuz. They need to tank up and put some energy in their legs. Otherwise, Kramaric, Kai, is one of those formidable players. We know him was a goal-scoring machine.
Here, there's some hefty challenges flying in here as Dortmund gain control of the ball. Now it's Fabio Silva. He gets cleared out in another challenge. Bodies flying all around.
Fabio Silva is proving, right, left, right, coming, all angles. You can see the thirst for a goal from him.
But I have to say, referee Ziebert has let the game flow, which has been quite fun. He's kept his whistle in his pocket. No yellow cards so far. Although there have been plenty of questionable fouls.
Yes. Definitely. Sometimes referees leave it to see who blinks first. I think the first corner kick for Borussia Dortmund.
Exactly. That came in from Maxi Bayer, who actually knocked in quite a long throw, but it comes off a Hoffenheim player. I think it was Sufal in the end, but it's gone out for a corner as Dortmund, hopefully try to get a shot on target. And because we're already at the half-hour mark, pretty much.
Yeah, it's Leverkusen and Augsburg. They are 1-1 now. It's the only game that has kind of changed. So,
Oliver Baumann getting his troops ready to receive this corner, which comes in. It's a good one, and Baumann comes with a very, very strong punch, and it goes all the way out to the other side of the pitch for another Dortmund throw in, and the referee's blown his whistle again. Not too sure
Stop
what
the game.
for.
I think they touched his eye or something like that. Let's see what's the problem is.
Well, I think I'm not too sure, but the referee has just asked for a short break. But now there's another long throw coming in. This is a new tactic I've not seen so much from Dortmund, these long throws. Ryerson has come right across and he now launches one right into the box. It's a good one. But it ends up in the palms of Oliver Baumann, who, what do you think his chances are, Isaac, of being Germany's number one goalkeeper?
That's a tough one. It's a tough one because there are so many candidates for that vacancy.
Well, there has been, let's just explain to the listeners, there has been some talk of whether Manuel Neuer, because Manuel Neuer actually retired from the national team.
He might be recalled to do it for the last.
But he might be back.
Yes,
for the World Cup.
For the last, mission.
Right now, the referee is dealing with Tim Lemperle, who is a bit upset. He thinks he was deserving of a penalty here, but I think
they kicked his foot. That could spell disaster.
Well, it was
lucky.
Valdemar Anton, who I think if this does get given as a penalty, I think this would be a very harsh decision. But
it's because he kicked the foot.
Well, the referee is having none of it, and the game has restarted as a goal kick. But that hasn't changed the fact that Hoffenheim are still coming forward. Bazuma Toure coming forward, but they can't get past the first line of defense, and it comes all the way back to the halfway line. Bazuma Traore has had a good game so far. Bazumana Traore has had a good start to the game, the left winger.
Yes, yeah. I mean, they'll be counting on him and Dembele, but they have a dangerous substitute who is yet to come in, and that is Ilas Bebo. Ilas Bebo, we know him. I'm sure Kai, you know Ilas Bebo very well, and he's
Togolese
German.
Togolese German player, yeah.
Yeah, he came here in Germany when he was 11 years old and started off his football career in the lower leagues in Düsseldorf. And Hannover gave him the first chance to play until Hoffenheim.
Cross comes in here, another shot, doesn't get through. Hoffenheim again making inroads into the Dortmund defense, but they lots of whistles from the crowd here.
Yellow card. Don't argue with me.
Well, lots of whistles from the crowd here because Berger needs to be careful. He's already got a yellow card for talking back to the referee, but the fans are unhappy because they say they don't agree with Coach Siebert blowing against them here, and a foul on caused by Bernardo on the edge of the box.
The coach, he might also get a cut.
Very unhappy are the Hoffenheim, but it did seem like quite an innocuous challenge. I don't know why they're too upset.
I mean, fans, they know that's worldwide. They think they see the game better and they know better when it comes to the decisions and all that. But of course, the trust has to be there for the referees. It's their job, you know. They know the rules, and well, no man is perfect. But the fans always think their side should not be penalized or whistled against in any way.
Hoffenheim, of course, playing a bit dangerously, not getting the ball forward. It's kind of a half press here by Dortmund, which is only partially working, I guess, because they're not being able to pressure Hoffenheim into giving up the ball in their own half, and now they find themselves back about 2/3 of the way down their pitch. Soufal is unhappy because, again, he's been asked to launch another long throw. This seems to be a tactic employed by both sides, and now Soufal is coming with a long run up to try. I mean, if he gets this into the box, it'd be a really long throw. He tries.
It is.
Oh, wow, it's a big throw, but doesn't yield many results. In fact, Dortmund handle it very well, and it goes out to exactly the same spot. I wonder if Soufal is going to do from the right wing side.
Wow, I'm yet to see who's going to blink first in this game. I think at this stage,
knock the ball right out forward, but again, there's no support. Fabio Silva, the lone striker here, tries to make a move forward, but he's unable to get it. Ball comes right across to the right wing side now with Julian Ryerson. Makes a pass, gets it back. He takes a shot, but the cross turns out not to be a shot, but rather a cross that comes all the way to the left wing side. Now Soufal is trying to go up the right and get something going here. But it has to start all the way from the back again. It's been a stop-start game, hasn't it, Isaac?
Yes. Each side is trying to pull the other side to come in front so that they can penetrate through the defensive lines. But most of them, as we can see, they are staying put. And then here we have...
It's been a bit of a chess match, I have to say, rather than a high-flying, all-risk-taking game. Neither Dortmund nor Hoffenheim really willing to press their forwards forward to try and win the ball high up the pitch.
Yeah, typical football made in Germany here. Better take back the ball back to the goalkeeper than losing it up front. You know, it's not the typical Italian or Spanish way of playing, of attacking and getting to the goalpost, whether you lose it or not. It's like here they're not allowed to make mistakes, which of course is not the case.
Cross comes in now for Hoffenheim as they try to get the ball across, but again, it doesn't lead anywhere. Sorry, Isaac, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I mean, the action here, players tend to want to take back the ball all the way to the goalkeeper and rebuild again than losing it. So I don't know that philosophy. For me, sometimes it doesn't work out and it makes the game boring.
Well, right now we have a corner coming in from the left wing side from a Hoffenheim perspective. Quite a lot of players actually cried in the box there, and it's going to be Soufal, the right-footed Soufal, to swing in the cross here, unless he makes a short pass, but I think it's going to be a long one. Comes forward.
Could it be the first goal? No.
Oh my goodness, it's a terrible corner. It doesn't even clear the first man. And can Dortmund break here? They've got Chukwuemeka running forward. He's got Fabio Silva on the right wing side. He chooses Joe Bellingham on the left wing side. Joe Bellingham bearing down on goal. Now there's lots of Dortmund players coming, but can Bellingham get a shot away or a cross? He knocks it back to Chukwuemeka. They lose the initiative. Now everybody is in the box, but a long... Oof. Well, I don't know exactly what Daniel Svensson was trying there. I think he was trying to chip across that turned into a shot, but it doesn't end up going in. A missed opportunity there for Dortmund.
Missed opportunity there, and you can see Fabio Silva was disappointed that he didn't get that cross that Chukwuemeka made to Joe Bellingham, the young brother of Jude Bellingham.
Famous Jude Bellingham, also formerly of Dortmund.
Exactly. Dortmund has been the breeding ground of superstars, including Erling Haaland, including Lewandowski. Many of them, they started their game here, and they stayed until they were picked up by bigger teams.
I was going to include Jadon Sancho in that, but that hasn't quite worked out for him, has it?
No, not really. Oh, Jadon Sancho, by the way, just reminded me about him. And possibly, I think it was the right choice. I believe Joe Bellingham coming to Dortmund, it had the influence of, first of all, the mother and the brother, Jude Bellingham, because their mom is really strict with them when it comes to managing them and making decisions for them.
Hoffenheim moving forward. Kramaric on the right wing side. He looks forward, uses a left-footed shot, but it takes a strong deflection off the Dortmund defender. I believe it was Niklas Zule, who's gone down clutching his knee, which is never really a good sign for football, and knee injuries are a real problem. But it's a bit weird. He's that was a miss, and this even worse in the replay because you see Zule wasn't actually even trying to block the shot. He actually blocked the shot accidentally after slipping and really twisting his knee there. I hope he's going to be all right. Niklas Zule, the right back of Borussia Dortmund, but it looks painful. He looks in real pain now.
Yeah. That's really painful. Niklas Zule is a giant of a player, but that ball was kind of outside. I don't know why he did leave it for a corner. It should have been a corner kick, and the cameras are just showing the replay.
The best chance of the half that Andrej Kramaric used to try and knock the ball past Gregor Kobel. That would have given them a lead. But we have another delay in this game. We've had not that much goalmouth action, but we've had plenty of delays. There's a lot of... Well, actually, this has been a bad half. I think there's no other way to put it. Short of conceding a goal, Dortmund have had a terrible half, and now they are being forced into making a substitution, and I believe it is a defender coming on. It's going to be Rami Benzebaini.
Yeah, definitely. That's Rami Benzebaini, the number 5 shot. He has to be stretched off because they can't take a risk now.
With Zule
and
really
defender,
injured.
and you have no goal, and you have to win this game. There is a lot at stake. So Rami Benzebaini has just to come on, even though we have just a few minutes left. So let's see. What's the coach going to consult? He's going to see.
The referee
is going to see the VAR, but it was an accident. It can be a penalty. In all fairness.
Let's see what the referee. Maybe they're checking for a handball.
They're checking for a handball, but he had already injured himself. Hey, did he put the hand intentionally?
Oh dear.
That could be a problem.
Oh dear, there could be even worse for Dortmund here because
if you raise the hand,
he did raise the hand. His hand definitely.
Yeah.
This is Isaac. I've never seen something like this. The player falls down, injured, accidentally makes a block, but he makes the block with his hand.
It could not be an accident. It could be an accident, depending on the situation.
I don't think it was. I think it was an accident, to be honest, because.
But there's some players who say, if I've gone down, then the ball goes not beyond me.
Let's hear the announcement from the referee Ziebert. He's going to make the announcement. It could be a penalty here for Hoffenheim.
Nach dem, after.
All,
Oder ein mögliches Handspiel für den Spieler Süle. Nach Ansicht der Bilder liegt ein strafbares Handspiel, weil er mit den Armen.
I told you.
yeah. But Isaac, I have to tell. So just for our listeners who don't speak German, there has been a penalty awarded to Hoffenheim. But I've never seen. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Zula is in tears. He is injured. He has to be taken off. But his last contribution is giving away a handball.
Yeah, hand. I mean, when you
And
look at
it
the
was
replay,
completely accidental. I mean, he actually puts his hand up to protect his face.
you see,
Oh,
that's
my
the
goodness.
problem. It's,
Isaac, I can't describe how weird this situation is. I don't know. Have you ever seen something like this?
definitely not. And even though he hadn't given the penalty, the fans, Hoffenheim, wasn't having any problem with that because they thought he's injured. But when you raise the hand, the
I mean, he
intention,
raises it to protect his face. He's probably in real pain because his knee is just...
yeah, I mean, the reflex maybe for him was like,
Yeah.
we can't judge. We can't be judgmental, but it's so hard to tell. It's a thin line to know the intention of whether he didn't want the ball to go past him because it had fallen or it was a mistaken handball.
Well, it doesn't matter what we think. All that matters is Andrej Kramaric, the Croatian forward. Can he score? Can he put Hoffenheim in dreamland here from the spot? There's some...
pushing the lines and all that.
The referee is coming across to Tim Lempel and Schlotterbeck, who are kind of jostling at the box to try and... Oh, my goodness, this is a very bizarre sequence here. Anyway, Kramaric takes a deep breath. Korbel takes an even deeper breath. Kramaric walks up and it takes a shot, and it's... Well, Isaac, you describe that.
Almost. He was almost there. Kramaric gives Hoffenheim the lead, much to the joy of the fans and the noise. And Korbel followed up. We almost just a few centimeters the fingers. It wasn't the case of showing the goalkeeper the wrong side. It's the replay. Look at that.
Well, look at this. It's a bizarre sequence. Actually, Korbel wasn't as close to it. He looked like Korbel was actually on the ball, but it's actually a really good penalty here. Korbel wasn't actually anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
Good penalty by Andrej Kramaric. Gives Hoffenheim the lead and ends one of the bizarrest sequences I've seen this season in the Bundesliga. Doesn't matter. Hoffenheim are 1-0 ahead. And Isaac, it's already the 42nd minute, but I think we're going to have a fair amount of injury
at
time.
least 4 minutes of added time, because to be bizarre. Oh,
In the middle of all of this, Rami Benzabaini has just walked onto the pitch, probably wondering what he's doing there. And Hoffenheim have the ball again. Can they get another goal before halftime? They move it across here. Sufal has it on the right wing side. Tries to move it up forward. Lempele now. Lempele looks to make a cross. He is only partially successful, and the ball comes ricocheting back, but it ends up in the box again. Fisnik Asllani tries to get control of it, and they take it to the corner. Sufal again on the ball here. They try to move it into the midfield. Everything has come from the right wing side, and somehow there's a mix-up between the players, and it goes out for another Hoffenheim throw. And what do you think is going to happen next?
He's going to launch as expected.
Sufal does what Sufal does, launches a long throw. Niko Kovac is sitting very bemused on the bench. I don't blame him, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this was crazy. It could have been even fair play. Oh, who is there?
Dangerous moment there for Dortmund as they need to really sort of see out the last few minutes of this half. And they are fortunate that Sufal's shot was very far from on target here. I mean, I do feel sorry for looking for Niklas Süle. I mean, his season could be over after that injury.
It could be over because that was a bad slip, and Hoffenheim have flipped into the 5th position, as you had mentioned earlier, Kai. And Leverkusen, because of the draw, is now in the 6th position.
Well, that's not the only thing. There have been goals flying in the great North German derby between Werder Bremen and Hamburg. It's now 1-1 there.
Wow. We are yet to see the team that will have this match, but definitely, as the game stands now, the people in Munich or the Bavarians they have started,
celebrating.
Celebrating, having
as of now,
their frothy beers.
As of now, Bayern are basically champions of Germany.
They're champions. They're champions. But RSA Kai football has always tells its own language. You never know, Dortmund might come back and harvest some goals, or even Hoffenheim harvesting more goals, and then maybe tomorrow Munich stumbles hosting Stuttgart, and then we continue with the league.
Here we go, another long throw from Sufal into the Dortmund box. We've already played 45 minutes. It's not yet clear exactly how many additional minutes we'll get, but what we do know is that Dortmund have to somehow see out these minutes, because coming back from 2-0 down, the way they've played today, as find that hard to believe. 6
minutes, mamma mia.
And we are only in the first half. So 6 minutes added on. We'll still be here for a while, Isaac.
We still have a long Saturday here.
Well,
in the studios.
Can Dortmund get one back here? That's 6 minutes for them to try and salvage this half. They move forward on the left wing side. Maxi Bayer tries to get the ball into the center of the pitch, but loses it. And now they come forward. It's really messy in the center of the pitch there, but Dortmund retain it. Comes across to Sabitzer. They play it further on the right. Sabitzer moves forward, but he manages to get a foul out of that situation, and maybe a chance now for Dortmund to try and knock the ball in, because Isaac, one of their strengths this season has been their set piece play.
Yes, exactly. And set pieces sometimes, yes, they work out, but I don't know. You can see not so much noise is coming from the fans. The only way to salvage this game is to get a draw, to get a goal before we go for halftime.
Right. Those lining up, it's Svensson and Ryerson. Now, will Ryerson use his right foot to try and launch this into the box? No, that is Ryerson. Ryerson will, and it comes across. It goes right. Actually, a really good cross, but it comes out all the way to Joe Bellingham. Danger's not over. Sabitzer back to Ryerson now on the right wing side, but he sees no option. Just a wall of blue in front of him. Comes all the way back to Sabitzer. Ryerson, they play tag. No options. There's just no movement from Dortmund. They like to seem to be standing stock still there. Now it comes across Benzabaini, the Algerian. Can he make a difference? Well, first is not a really good pass. He passes it straight to Joe Bellingham. Joe Bellingham comes across here on the left. Isaac, they can't get through. They can't get through. Really well-organized defense here from Hoffenheim.
Absolutely. We have a 5-man defensive line of Hoffenheim. And it's kind of man-to-man, even though it's not man-to-man, but looks, and so is Fabio Silva. They're not giving them breathing space or turning.
All 11 players are behind the quiet, don't they?
They do. It's not that usual wall, intimidating wall that we know at the Signal Iduna Park. But wait, if they get a goal, that's going to change.
Long throw comes in, but it doesn't clear the first line of defense. And Dortmund managed to get the ball. Sabitzer, the Austrian, and that sums it up. Poor Sabitzer loses the ball, has a bad first touch, and it goes out of play. Yes, that sums up their half.
Yeah, Marcel Sabitzer is trying to give his all, and so is Fabio Silva. But I would like to see more concentration of Chukwumeka. I prefer to call him Chuku like his people call him, because the name is really a mouthful. And also make good use of Svensson and Ryerson. Because for me, without fear of contradiction, I see Fabio Silva doing the donkey work and Marcel Sabitzer.
Right, and Fabio Silva had a thankless task. He's really had to work back behind the ball, do a lot of running without much reward for the number 9 there. But, well, he's a number 9 position, but he actually wears jersey number 21. Yeah, but exactly. He's the lone striker up front there.
Yeah.
Probably in place of Serhu Girassi, who perhaps, do you think we'll see him? He does wear the number 9 shirt.
He does well, but the previous game, there was really bad communication between him and the Job Bellingham. They seemed not to connect at all properly. It was bizarre, and it cost them that game. Even not only what we saw here, but even after the post-match analysis, most of the other sports pundits saw it that way, that there was little collaboration between him. And later on, when they brought on Julian Brand, again, it was bad communication between the two.
Here they come forward to Dortmund. They've played better since going down, but they've really not had any clear-cut opportunities. And honestly, I think the sooner the halftime whistle comes, the better. Niko Kovac, the camera has been trained on him a few times, and he looks anything other than content, I have to say, Isaac.
Yes, we still have a minute and a half. Another Nico Slotterback.
This time, Fiznik Aslani is on the receiving end of a hard challenge. We're now seeing a few pictures of Sehu Garassi, who, no, I wouldn't say he looks ready to come on. I don't think so.
The body language speaks different. From what I'm seeing, it's like he may not be so happy being on the bench. But who knows?
Which star footballer is happy on the bench? I don't think you'll find many, but certainly not one of the caliber of Sehu Garassi.
Yeah, the coach though might bring him on for a few minutes later on.
Whistle goes, and it's a free kick for an offside position here. And now Niko Kovac does signal to his players he wants the ball to go forward, not backwards.
Mm-hmm.
They duly oblige.
I'll agree with him. I'll agree with him because
another foul though, and another Dortmund players on the floor rolling around. This time it's Ryerson. I mean, this has been the story of this game. A lot of niggly fouls, a lot of painful challenges. Wow, it's been a hard match.
It's been a hard match. Yeah, I agree with Kovac because the last time when Bayern Munich was playing, ran away with a victory against Freiburg. At some stage, Kevin Company told the players, move forward. All of you, stop defending. Move ahead and do something.
Well, I think it looks like referee Zibert has had enough. He doesn't want to deal with another injury. So he's blown the halftime whistle, told all the players to leave the pitch, leaving Ryerson to be treated on the side. He's up now and walking gingerly back to the locker room. But a really disappointing performance from the black and yellows of Dortmund. Isaac, we are going to take a short break, but in this halftime show, I have an interesting chat with DW Sport correspondent Matt Pearson, and we're going to be discussing we're discussing quite a lot of things, but one of the things we're definitely discussing is the question of Harry Kane. Harry Kane, does he have a claim to be one of the best British players ever to play in the Bundesliga? Well, we'll discuss that among lots of other things. So don't go away. We'll be back just now.
Bundesliga Radio live.
So, Matt, thank you so much for joining us for the Bundesliga show. One of the things we really got to talk about early, though, is that wonderful, chaotic match that we witnessed in midweek between Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, where Bayern ran out winners. And it was actually really exciting if you're from a German fan's perspective. Is it also like a bit concerning that that Bayern Munich has become sort of the only German hope that can actually go into the later stages of European competition?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, the game, as you say, chaotic is about right. I mean, the first half particularly, the goals started really in the first few minutes either way, and it never really stopped. Attacking display by both teams pretty open, both teams just sort of caution to the wind. It's pretty exciting for sort of German fans and anyone, really. I mean, pretty good atmosphere in the Allianz. One of those nights you get in the Champions League latter stages, really. I mean, it's not too long ago that Dortmund reached the final, 2024, and beaten by Real Madrid in the final. But I mean, that again, you'd say was not something you'd expect to see that often from teams of the quality of Dortmund and these days sort of Leverkusen and the other sort of German contenders. It is a problem, and there's no obvious solution. Bayern have operated smartly for quite a long time to get themselves in the financial position no one else can compete with.
Right, and of course, a lot of Freiburg fans are probably screaming, saying, well, we're also still in Europe, and that is true. Freiburg, of course, being in the Europa League, and of course, that is also a big achievement for them, with Bayern Munich being the only German teams to get into the latter stages of European competition. But Matt, with that said, that's just one of the big stories that we've had over the last few days. It's actually been an exciting week, because one of the other big stories that, of course, we're having in the Bundesliga is that Marie-Louise Eta is going to be the first ever woman to take charge of a Bundesliga team, or a team in one of Europe's big 5 leagues. So tell us a bit about that and why that's like quite a big deal.
It came as a bit of a surprise, I think. I mean, Union have been struggling of late, but and she has taken charge, been in the dugout before, at least for games, in an interim spell, without being the sort of head coach and the figurehead in the way that she will be from now until the end of the season. It's a massive deal because, as you say, it hasn't happened in the sort of big 5 leagues as they're assessed in Europe. There are some examples in lower leagues in Germany and France, but I mean, nowhere with this sort of profile, and no one has taken that chance. I mean, you see it the other way around more often than not. Men coach top-level women's teams internationally and sort of at club level. But yeah, no one's taken that chance, I suppose. I mean, if it is more of a chance than a man, and there's no, obvious reason to me why it is, other than it hasn't been done before. I mean, she's got a pretty good record. She's come up she was a successful player with Turbine Potsdam, and went through the German sort of FA Football Association coaching courses and the UEFA courses, and she's done very well with Union's under-19 side, and was and still is at the minute, due to take over their women's side as head coach next year. But the sporting director there has said that all options are open if she does well in these last 5 games of the season. They look at her, taking on the men's side if she wants that, which, we don't know yet. It's a huge deal, I think, for female coaches. That glass ceiling has been there, and she is the first one to break through it in this high-profile way.
And on that, I mean, do you think it's somehow fitting that of all the clubs in the Bundesliga, it is Union Berlin, considering the club's, standing in German football, its focus on social issues and the whole thing about standing together? Do you think it's sort of fitting that it is Union Berlin that's giving them the chance?
Yes. I mean, I think, they have that reputation, as you say, as a pretty progressive club and a pretty progressive city. There's this story of the fans sort of rebuilding their stadium back in the day together, having that community aspect. I think the club have, her appointment has unsurprisingly led to a lot of sort of social media misogyny and sort of abuse and stuff on posts about her, and the club have been quite kind of forthright in sort of batting that away and sort of knocking down the trolls, so to speak. So they're well set up for it, and she seems to be well supported.
We will also be excited to see how she does in her first game. But as you mentioned, there are only 5 games left in the Bundesliga season. That means it's going to be a baptism of fire for her, but also just sort of a fight to the end, actually, for the bottom clubs in the Bundesliga, of which Union Berlin is now dangerously close. What do you think of the fight to avoid relegation? Let's just remind listeners first, how does relegation work in the Bundesliga?
There are 18 clubs in the Bundesliga, and the bottom 2, so 18, 17, go down automatically to the second division. The club in 16th plays the club in 3rd from the second division in a 2-legged playoff, which historically is won much more often than not by the club in the top league, but there's obviously no guarantees of that. I mean, Union are in it a bit, even though they're up in 11th. It's a pretty sort of compact league in the bottom half, really. Yeah, Wolfsburg are playing at Union for Eta's first game. They are sort of sinking like a stone. I think they've won once this year. I think they won a game mid-January, haven't won since. Brought back Dieter Hecking, who was their coach back in the days about 10 years ago, where they were sort of in the Champions League. They beat Real Madrid 2-0 before losing the second leg of a knockout, and they won the German Cup. Won the league back in 2009. Not always the most popular club, because they're not a sort of fan-owned club in the way that others, or fan, 50+1 club, so to speak. Yeah, they're in freefall, and They've made coach change after coach change. None of them have made any significant differences. And you think that if they lose that, things are looking pretty sticky for them. They're 17th, and then below them is just Heidenheim, who've won just 4 games all season. Though one of those was last week against Union, which sort of has led to Etta being in position there. They look in pretty big trouble. They're 6 points from safety. Worst goal difference in the league. Their possible salvation is they have St. Pauli next week, who are the team in 16th, possibly catchable, 6 points off. But if they don't win that, I think they're gone, Heidenheim.
So I think, obviously, there were certain clubs that were earmarked perhaps to be at least in the relegation battle, but Wolfsburg, as far as I know, wasn't a candidate for relegation at the start of the season. But are you surprised by any others? Like, for example, Hamburg being up in the top division, they've not looked like at all this season, like they were in danger of slipping down. St. Pauli a bit, though. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Hamburg are obviously historically sort of huge club and had a longer spell than they would have anticipated down in the second division. And yeah, they've kind of acquitted themselves fairly well. It's hard to see them getting really dragged in now. I mean, the same with Borussia Mönchengladbach, who are down in 14th. I mean, they fairly recently have been in the sort of, Champions League European spots fairly consistently. So they've struggled more than you might have thought. Yeah, I mean, Hamburg and Cologne, sort of similar stories, both gone down, both sort of come back up, and you should be okay. But you never know at this stage of the season. It just takes one or two teams to go on a good run or a terrible run, and things can change.
But one part of the Bundesliga that is not tight at all, and that's right at the top of the Bundesliga, where, of course, Bayern Munich are in kind of pole position. In fact, if they win this weekend, they will actually be, unless there's a mathematical problem or something unforeseen going down the season, they will be, again, German champions. And one of the big reasons for that is, of course, Harry Kane, who, let's be honest, when he came to Germany, there was a lot of talk about how he'd never won anything and how his career, had everything except winning trophies. He's done that in spades with Bayern. He's except for the first season, but he's won stuff since then. But he's also scored like an absolute animal. And is there a case for him now to be sort of said, well, this is the best Englishman who's ever played in the Bundesliga?
Certainly. I mean, the numbers sort of don't lie in these terms. I think it's 50 goals. That his goal against Madrid made it 50 for the season already. We're only mid-April. He's almost double he's got 31 in the Bundesliga, almost double Undav of Stuttgart in second. He's been an immensely good signing for Bayern. I think he's not a very sort of flashy guy off the pitch, and he's quite sort of understated in the way he carries himself, which I do. And this sort of trophy thing, having been at Spurs his whole career, except a few loans early on, has sort of, I don't know, even in England where I'm from, I think there is a tendency to still underrate him, but he is right at the top. He's a Ballon d'Or contender this season, I would say, particularly at Bayern in the Champions League. I think, you hear from Bayern fans, and I think even they were surprised by how good he is. And, it's not just the goals. In terms of comparisons with English players, Sancho and Bellingham are the sort of most recent ones you look at, both at Dortmund. Both came very young and left when still very young. Both clearly very good players, both very well liked at Dortmund, very well respected in the league, but not the finished article when they're in Germany. And that at that time was sort of Dortmund's policy to, shine up young players and sell them for a profit. Kane is here in Germany at the peak of his career, doing it for Bayern. I think the only guy who would, be a contender to best English player in the Bundesliga aside from him is probably Kevin Keegan back in there.
And that's something for our older fans to remember. The mighty mouse.
Exactly that, yeah, back in late 70s, so even slightly before my time even. I mean, he, speaking of the Ballon d'Or, won it twice while he was playing for Hamburg, and won the Bundesliga. I think in the second season he was here, and he was also the first Englishman to play in the Bundesliga, I believe. I only knew him sort of later as a manager at Newcastle and England, which was always a bit of a roller coaster. But also a forward, also an excellent player. You don't win 2 Ballon d'Ors without being a great player. It's hard to compare players over that sort of span of 50 years or whatever it is. But I think should Kane win that Ballon d'Or, win the Champions League, there is an argument that he might surpass Keegan.
And of course, we will totally be watching to see if Harry Kane can achieve that sort of absolute legend status. Although I do think there's a number of fans that think he has already achieved legend status at Bayern Munich. But we will see also this weekend if he can add to that already impressive tally.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I guess the only thing, he's in sight of a few records in Champions League and Bundesliga scoring terms. I guess Bayern having it sewn up so early might see him rested here and there. But I agree with you. He's absolutely already achieved that status.
Bundesliga Radio. Live.
Welcome back to the Bundesliga, where we are here at the PreZero Arena in Sinsheim in our match between Hoffenheim and Borussia Dortmund after a very, very strange first half of football, it has to be said, Isaac.
Yes, indeed a strange one. We saw that controversial penalty against Dortmund. Nicolas Zule was not so lucky. Slid, injured his knee, but he raised the hand, and according to the review from the referee, Daniel Zebert, although the game had kind of continued, he came and gave, the penalty, which many people think that it's going to be a fair play. But again, I have to remind you that Hoffenheim is still leading the game. They're the hosts, and they're hoping to avenge the 2-0 defeat they suffered when they faced Dortmund in December 2025. But can they do that? And again, we have to remind you, Dortmund are still unfortunate, just like last weekend when they played against Leverkusen. They were hosting Leverkusen and they lost 1-0. So is it going to be a streak of losses? Is it a question of now Bayern Munich should start celebrating Kai? And for me, there are lots of questions, there are lots of tasks that Dortmund has to do. They have to pull up their socks. Otherwise, we would wish to go to end the league with the top team, Bayern Munich, with so many games at hand, winning the trophy today or tomorrow.
Well, we still have 45 minutes for Dortmund to rescue this match and maybe make Bayern Munich wait a little bit longer. Just one question, Isaac, before we get into this game. Do you agree with our colleague Matt's analysis that Harry Kane is the best ever Englishman to play in the Bundesliga?
I can't think of any at this moment, because Harry Kane came at a time. Actually, he came
as a star.
He was the first player that a team played more than 100 million. In Germany here, they don't do that. Their culture doesn't allow them to do that, splashing millions over one player. But Harry Kane, yes, he's a goal
He certainly
machine.
Lived up to expectations, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Harry Kane probably going to be in action tomorrow for Bayern Munich. But here we are underway at the PreZero Arena as Dortmund got us underway, but they've already lost the ball, and it goes all the way to Hoffenheim, who are playing a bit of, sky ball by the looks of things. Now the ball finally gets back onto the ground. And Hoffenheim looking from a body language perspective, a bit more fresher. But here there's a chance for Dortmund. They get the ball high. It's Fabio Silva somehow gets the ball across, and it goes out for a corner. Well, it certainly looked like it went out for a corner.
Like a corner.
But the referee says no, and it comes all the way out for a throw-in, which again will be taken by Maxi Bayer on the... No, sorry, not Maxi Bayer. Sorry, Ryerson on the right-wing side here. And this has been a game of long throws.
Yes, everyone is launching. Everyone is launching into the depth. Let's see what's on Ryerson's head or mind with the throw-in. Unlikely.
Yeah, he plays it short. It comes now to Chukwuemeka, passes the ball across, but it's a poor cross. Now it's a slightly better cross, but it ends up in the palms of Oliver Baumann, who let's be honest, Isaac has not had a very difficult game, has he?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I don't know whether these players are from the dressing room or they got the briefing right. They've started off again with their sloppy passes in front of the goal of Hoffenheim, Chukwuemeka and Bayer. And, well, I saw that cutting of Chukwuemeka maybe wanting to be fouled so they can win a penalty. They can also try that trick, which is so common in the Spanish league and Italian leagues, where defenders tend to go in.
Well, now they have a chance. They move forward here. Volley comes in, but it's knocked out, and it goes straight out for a goal kick.
He can't believe it.
They can't believe it to the Dortmund players. They can't believe it again. They had a good opportunity. They don't get anything out of it. I have to say, Isaac, I completely agree with you. I don't know if Niko Kovac lit a fire under them at the halftime break, but they certainly have not played much differently, Dortmund.
I expect more enthusiasm.
And another thing that's quite interesting that they had that 1-4 substitution of Niklas Zule, but they have not made any other substitutions, Dortmund. So I would have thought that if Coach Kovac wanted to send a message, maybe he would have rung the changes, but he hasn't so far.
But I expect Julia Brandt to come in at some stage as a midfielder who also overlaps and goes to strike. And also Sergio Guirassy. Remember the days when Sergio Guirassy was competing with Harry Kane? I followed closely your conversation with Matt, but Harry Kane, engaged gear number 6 and flew off.
Just to give a sample size of how dominant Kane has been in the scoring charts, he has more than double the goals that the next highest scorer in the Bundesliga has.
Exactly. And to tell you how it works here sometimes in the fans.
As we wait to see a corner coming in now from Dortmund, they swing it in. Will they get on the end of it? Chukwuemeka connects with his face, but nothing more. As Dortmund again lose the opportunity and Hoffenheim is able to clear. Can they even counter-attack here? There's a 3-on-1, but Dortmund are able to... Oh my goodness, what's happened there? Looked like a very bad challenge of Kramaric, and now it's come the other way. Dortmund on the attack. The cross comes in, but it's a poor cross again, and it's launched, hooked out all the way to midfield. Wow, that was a crazy sequence, but I interrupted you, Isaac.
Yes, sorry. I was saying, if you were to go into northern Germany or east or west or south, and let's leave out the south, and you asked about Harry Kane, almost everyone knows it. And that shows you an English player, when they come in Germany, in the Bundesliga, and make a statement, every fan gets to know them. We've had so many English players come, even who have played for Bayern Munich, but not everyone, resonates, whose name resonates with all the fans across the aisle, all the teams, even the second league. So Harry Kane, in short, he came, he saw, and he conquered.
Certainly, that is a fairly accurate description of his career so far with Bayern Munich. I guess, though, Dortmund can lay claim to having the second most famous British players, at least in sort of most recent memory, in Jude Bellingham and Jadon Sancho. Yeah. But there's also been Bino Gittens has been there. Now we are seeing Joe Bellingham in the starting lineup for Borussia Dortmund. Of course, we can't forget some of the other famous players like Owen Hargreaves, played a while back for Bayern Munich. But it's quite interesting now that you see quite a number of young British players playing in the Bundesliga.
Even Americans, surprising. Exactly. Even Americans. Oh, he's been pulled down, but the ref says play on.
Jarrell Kwanzaa is another one we can talk about for Leverkusen.
Yeah.
And perhaps we might even see Jadon Sancho return to Dortmund, because he made his name at Dortmund. Then he went to Manchester United, and then he had a loan spell back at Dortmund. And I don't know, it's not worked out for him, has it?
Not really, because but for me, Kai, personally, I'm so very impressed. Even back home, when I tell people, I come from Rwanda, when I tell people about the Bundesliga.
Danger here as Dortmund get the chance. Can they make it count? No, they can't. They can't even get the shot off. They don't trouble the goalkeeper.
Everyone knows the Bundesliga now, because at least those of my age, there was what was called football made in West Germany. And to break into the ranks of football made in Germany, you had to be really good. And one of the people who played first, like Asamo, like Asamo rather, not Gian, Asamo, the veteran, who's at
Gerald Asamoah.
Exactly, yes. But now, when
some of our older fans will remember him. Played also at the World Cup 2002 for Germany.
Exactly. Well said. Now, when we talk about diversity, is Bundesliga. We have everyone there from all parts of the continent. So now, even in Africa, they talk about it. There are fan clubs of Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund in Ghana. You know, in Uganda, where we have partner stations like UBC, listen to us right now. There are fans of Dortmund and Bayern Munich. When there's their Classica, you'll find them in bars wearing those jerseys. Like you see Manchester United and Arsenal. So you find fans of Dortmund who are playing against fans of Bayern Munich. So it's really amazing. It's amazing.
No, I agree with you there. Just an update on what's happened here. Another injury for another player right here, but this time it's a Hoffenheim player. I believe it's Wouter Burger who is on the pitch. He's not moving. He's clutching his hamstring, and it looks like he's going to. Oh goodness, he was in contact. He was in contact with Maxi Bayer, and somehow gets caught there.
He overstretched.
And it looks like his hamstring is really injured, and now looks like there's going to be a substitution. In fact, substitute is getting ready to come on already. Wouter Burger doesn't look like he's running anywhere soon, is he?
No. I'll be timing how much time we have at the end of this game.
We've had a lot of delays, haven't we?
We might spend the night here if it goes on like this, and the antenna might be taken back before even we end the game. Hopefully not.
Well,
Niko Kovac having a word with the fourth official. What do you think he's telling him?
Well, I'm not too sure. He's probably still asking about the penalty that his team conceded. But yeah, I don't think so. I think Niko Kovac has seen a lot in his career. He's had such an interesting career, both as a player, as Niko Kovac. Obviously made his name at Bayern Munich. He played internationally for Croatia and then was coach of Bayern Munich for a short time before coaching in North Germany as well, and then of course famously now at Dortmund, where I know he's not been able to win trophies and that, but I do think he's brought stability to the club. He's
brought stability, and that's still a young coach, fairly young. I mean, Kai, in the past we had only the grey-haired old men who were qualified to be coaches or managers, but now you find a 40-year-old, 38-year-old, we have Vesa Company, we have Niko Kovac, so who are really doing a great job. Yeah.
We talk about him as if he's like a veteran coach, but Germany's coach, Julian Nagelsmann, he's not even 40.
The man who has the loudest screams on the pitch, Julian Nagelsmann. He can scream and we hear him even though there's so much noise from the fans. So for me, that shows the future of football, giving chance to young managers, trusting them with the team. That's amazing. And at a time when the Bayern Munich coach, Vesa Company, no one wanted to train Bayern Munich. He stepped up the plate from Burnley. And last weekend,
they beat Real Madrid.
And before that, there were praises from the top honchos. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge was like, Kevin is the best that we've had, who came when no one wanted us. And delivered. So
it's been good for him. He's won one title. Maybe he can win the double. Maybe this season he can and the title.
They only told him to keep on trusting the young boys in the academies.
Meanwhile, we are underway again here. It looks like Wouter Burger Chukwuemeka launches a volley, but it doesn't get very far. They bring it out to the side. A cross comes in. It's a good cross, and it comes all the way to the left-hand side, but it gets cut out again. And this time, Leon Abdullah is able to knock the ball forward and launch a counter-attack for Hoffenheim. My goodness. They've managed to get to the final third, have Dortmund, but they've made nothing count. They've been absolutely weak in terms of having incisive attacks there. They've been unable to break through and really trouble the goalkeeper. But they are at least showing ambition, I think, Isaac.
They're showing ambition, but they need really to communicate properly, whether with eye contact or the chemistry has to be there between at least certain players. I expect Maximilian Bayer and Chukwuemeka to try to feel each other where I am and where you are. I need to know that if I look the other side, you have to be on my left. It's missing.
Free kick was taken quickly and it was passed out to the left wing side, but it was flagged for offside. And now it's again a free kick, which Oliver Baumann will not be in too much of a hurry to take as he lumbers across to where the referee Siebert is indicating. And now we're seeing some movement on the substitutes bench for Dortmund. Girassi is on the move. Maybe we'll see him sooner than later.
Yeah.
Who could Dortmund bring on? Julian Brandt is obviously an option.
Yes, there is Julian Brandt to come in for Ryerson, probably, or even for Joe Bellingham, rather, in the midfield. Certainly, they need Julian Brandt there. And then also Sergio Girassi coming on for Fabio Silva. But perhaps, who knows, Chuku might come off to allow Seru see whether they can connect properly with Fabio.
Meanwhile, Hoffenheim launched an attack on the right-wing side. Kramaric, who's actually had quite a good game so far, he's been very active and has had two good chances, one of which was the penalty which he scored. But he has looked menacing, has Kramaric.
Yeah, Kramaric for me is one of the best footballers in Europe, actually.
Certainly as a pure striker, yeah.
He is, and he has great impact on every team he plays for, regardless whether it's not the national team. I mean, in the Bundesliga, at least everyone knows Andrei Kramaric.
Hoffenheim launched an attack again. Hajdari, who's still bandaged, whose head is still bandaged, he launches it forward. And now comes Fiznik Aslan. He's got a very dangerous foot, but he takes a dive. The referee says, no, get up. And now he looks angrily at the referee, but the Siebert is not taking any of it. And Hoffenheim almost give up a odd man rush there. Now they have the ball back again. It comes all the way across to
he has to go off now. That was a long one for him. He's much already. Oh, no. I think it's time up.
And Wouterberger, who was already struggling with his hamstring, and now he says he can't continue anymore.
You just have to go off.
He looks injured now. Referee is telling him, please go off the pitch before you really hurt yourself here. As he pulls up here, it wasn't even anywhere close to the ball. He
wasn't. I mean, it was a long one. That requires you, Kai, to stretch your leg up. A replay here shows us how Asilani was so angry, hitting the ground.
Aslani very disappointed that he didn't get a free kick out of that, but he certainly he did not. I think the referee got that one spot on. Now we are seeing a change.
Like I told you.
Girassi coming in. We're in the 60th minute. He has got about half an hour to try and bring BVB back into the game here. More changes coming in for Hoffenheim. Pras is one of them.
Toure is another. New Bazumana Toure was not.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's Grisha Prummel coming on. Yeah, Prummel is coming on.
Yes, Grisha coming on.
Bazumana Toure is on the pitch as well. Oh, sorry, he's just come off. But so just to clarify, we've had two substitutions for Hoffenheim, but they're both midfielders. So perhaps they're looking more at conserving this lead. Certainly, they've not been under a lot of threat, I think it's fair to say, Isaac.
No. Of course, they're trying to protect the gains they've made so far. And hopefully it goes their way. Alexander Pras has come on for Bazumana.
And Prummel has come on, I guess, for Wouterberger, who was, of course, injured there with his hamstring. And he looks very upset, does Wouterberger.
Yeah, he's very upset. See, smell a handshake here from Grisha.
Anyway, here come Hoffenheim again on the attack. They've looked more like scoring than Dortmund here. The ball comes across. It's actually a good corner. And Korbel is just about able to keep the ball in play. But he's been told to... No, it's actually been given as a corner kick. Because this was a bizarre play again here. It looked like a harmless ball, but Korbel somehow touched the ball before it went out of play, and it's now a corner kick to Hoffenheim on the left wing side. They have everybody in the box to Hoffenheim, and I feel if they do score, this might be bridge too far. It's a good corner. It's a very good corner. But Gregor Korbel, the Swiss number 1, is able to stop the ball coming in. It's actually a good
It's a
header
good
here.
header from Asilani, I guess that was him. No, Kabak.
Yeah,
Ochan
exactly.
Kabak.
Kabak. Özcan Kabak.
Wow. He came from all there from the defensive lines. Everyone was there to try and make it. That was a good one, and it was leaped over.
So another corner coming up for Hoffenheim. You get the feeling they're the ones more likely to score in this match than Dortmund. Not to be mean to any of the Dortmund fans listening, but yeah, here we go. It's taken short. It's a good, really good kick and really good cross into the side, but Dortmund able to clear that. Really, really good cross. It was fast, it was flat, it was strong, but a Dortmund player just able to get their head in there before it got dangerous.
I need a replay of that ball because I thought if Hoffenheim player blocked it himself from his colleague. Oh, was it? The tension is on. The pressure is on, and the restless.
But Isaac, do you think Coach Ilza will be happy with what he's seen of Hoffenheim so far? Is this the response he wanted?
He should, because he knows very well the team he's playing against. It's not one of those lowly sides. Beating Dortmund will be the perfectest weekend for him and also the fans.
Because what we haven't mentioned a lot is that they've had quite up and down form the last few games at Hoffenheim. They have had some wins, but they've lost quite a few games that you did actually think they were going to win this year round. And actually, they started the season quite poorly. They lost 3 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken. And then they went on a spree where they won about 6 games in a row, which got them into a good position at the top of the Bundesliga, the Champions League places. So it's been a bit of a hot and cold season for them, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, it's fair to say. Only that maybe the last 4 games, they've not won anything, man. Just 2 points from the...
Exactly, they drew. That's exactly what happened. They also drew. And if we look at the fixtures and results for what they actually had, for example, Hoffenheim, they lost to Mainz, which was a game that they probably should have won there. Then they also had that disappointing draw with Augsburg, and now a goal.
Okay, opportunity here. No!
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Oh.
That was a clear-cut opportunity and a really good block there by Özcan Kabak. I think this was an excellent block here, Isaac. Can you see what he did there? Wow.
It was. Oh.
My goodness. They were lucky there, but again, really good defending. And again, Dortmund failed to get a shot off net. Here they get a good cross in, referee blows it as a goal kick. Nothing seems to be going right for them today.
Everything's going wrong. Everything is not on the goals are not on their side.
But here he had a free shot on goal, but really good cross. He just doesn't get the shot away quick enough. I believe it's actually Maxi Bayer there who had the opportunity, but he wasn't able to make it.
It was Svensson, if I saw well. Svensson.
No, you're right. It was Svensson. Svensson, number 24 for Dortmund. The left-footed player unable to get it past the sliding Özcan Kabak.
Looks like they're comparing notes.
The coaches on the Hoffenheim side.
Looks like desperate times are going to call for desperate measures.
We're seeing Coach Niko Kovac looking a lot more animated on the bench, really trying to get some fire in his team now, as they again are not quite able to do to make a lot out of this game. I mean, for a team that's chasing, we still see that Hoffenheim are leading in terms of expected goals. They are passing more efficiently. They've got more possession. They've had more shots on goal.
Yeah.
I mean, Isaac, how many shots on target have Dortmund had in this game? I'll give you 3 guesses. How many shots they've had on target?
On target.
I won't keep you waiting. They've had 0.
They've
shots.
had 0. Definitely, I've not seen any. But elsewhere, I mean, Leverkusen and Augsburg still 1-1. Werder Bremen has taken the lead 2-1 against Hamburg, and Wolfsburg, also being hosted by Union Berlin, has scored 2 goals. So a big job for Union Berlin. They have the first lady of female coach, right, Kai?
Yeah, and we will be hearing from her after this transmission ends. Coach Marie-Louise Etter, the coach of Union Berlin, who is a real trailblazer in football here in Germany, becoming the first woman to lead or to be the head coach of a Bundesliga side. She took over as Union Berlin is already in real trouble. They've not played really well in this quarter of the season. So she's taking up a team that is, well, kind of flirting with relegation at the moment.
Yeah, it's also good, more trust to female coaches. But this could be the beginning of seeing more female coaches coming on, like we saw when they were entrusted with officiating at big games. Diana, who I've not seen days.
But we'll be hearing from her after this game. We can and hear about her journey to becoming the coach of Union Berlin. It's a great chat we had there. So we'll bring you those sound bites later. And Isaac, I don't know what to tell you. There's another player down and another player injured. I don't know what is happening. This time it's Bernardo, the Brazilian right back here.
Woo.
He is also unable to move. I don't know what's in the water here. It appears that a lot of players are injured. Bernardo slips here. I'm not sure if he's injured his hamstring. He signals immediately to the bench to say he's done.
I think the DFB, that's the German Football Association, should investigate the Hoffenheim pitch.
I don't know what demons are lurking in the pitch, but so many players. But there is some positive light for BVB fans. Julian Brandt looks like he's being ready for action here. Can he inspire Dortmund into some fight here?
Yeah, Julian Brandt is always really, technically he's really good. It can be a game changer.
I have to say the body language of the Dortmund players here is not one of great hope. But now we're seeing Bernardo is still on the pitch, although I don't know for how much longer. He looks like he's moving very awkwardly. They still have opportunities to make substitutions to Hoffenheim. They've only made 2 so far, and they allowed 5, so 3 more.
I think they need some fresh boots on the ground. Wow. Hey! What's going on?
Oh, my goodness. I'm not too sure what went on, but it's certainly Pras who's on the...
Pras against Ryerson.
Pras and Ryerson. I don't know. I can't even see what exactly happened there, but Pras looks in serious pain. We'll see on the replay.
First, they kicked him.
Ryerson gets the ball. He lands on him.
He lands on him.
So I don't think there was any bad intent there from Ryerson. He tries to leap over Pras, but as he comes back down onto the ground, his left boot catches Pras's shin. Wow.
He first got the knock from Bernardo near the Achilles, but looks like Ryerson is a hardcore.
And Pras looks okay to continue, so that's good. That's good. That could have been way worse. Now, after all that, we now have a throw-in, and it's Seru Guirassy. Can he do something? No, he cannot. He loses the ball out, but here comes Ryerson. He knocked the ball back into play here. Sorry, not Ryerson, Daniel Svensson. They move it back across. Sabitzer. Knocked pinballing around the edge of the box, but Hoffenheim able to knock the ball free. But actually, Isaac, there might be something to what you're saying. I've seen a bunch of players slipping on this pitch. They are slipping on the pitch.
Something wrong with this pitch.
As we see Marcel Sabitzer coming off and Julian Brandt coming on, I believe now. And another player in Samuel Ignacio coming onto the pitch as well as Mathis Albert. Samuel Mathis Samuel Inácio is an Italian-Brazilian player. He's a very young guy. He's only 18 years old, so big moment for him. And Matisse Albert, another young player, of course, playing for a German dual citizen with the United States. He's only 16 years old.
Wow.
Isaac.
16, I guess he doesn't share the same dressing room with adults, as per the rules.
So here we have, so Dortmund has made their full complement of changes. No, they've not. Julian Brandt has not actually come onto the. No, he has been. Julian Brandt is actually on the pitch. He's just not been signaled by the referee yet. So Dortmund has all their players, all their substitutions on the pitch now.
They want aggressively an equalizer here. Can they do it? I hope Julian Brandt can control Sergio Guerres, who's asking for the ball. Oh.
These threads it through to Julian Brandt, almost gets on the end of it. Now they move it across to the right. Svensson now has the ball. He moves across, but it's a poor cross that doesn't go anywhere. Here, can Valdemar Anton deliver something better? It's a better cross, but it's headed way out. Svensson, by the way, has now been substituted, and Ryerson remains on the right wing side. Has to be clear.
Lot of accents and allows the pass. Something wrong with this pitch?
I don't know. It's a really nice flat pitch, but the players seem to be having real difficulties on it.
From the look of it, it's green everywhere, beautifully manicured, but we're seeing more slight stumbles than expected. And certainly we can't blame the boats. Yeah, but they say a back workman blames his tools, and this time it's the pitch, not the boots.
Well, I mean, a lot of money gets put into the into the state of these pitches here in Germany. They're all normally of very high standard. It might be there's just one of those days where a lot of players get injured, and it's just not. It's just a bad day at the office for the physiotherapists, Isaac.
Yeah.
Right now, as we see Hoffenheim launch an attack that gets snuffed out really early. They've also changed their formation now, I've noticed. They're now playing sort of 5 in the midfield and 4 in and 4 across the back are Hoffenheim. So I think they are going to try and protect this lead. Ryerson tries to knock it forward on the right wing side, and he gets the ball up to young Samuel Inácio, who obviously is a very young player to come onto the pitch. Him and Matisse Albert. I don't know, Isaac, is it becoming normal to see such young players playing in the Bundesliga?
Yes, it is normal. It is normal. Like I told you during the halftime that I will take an example of Bayern. They appreciate so much Vincent Kompany. I prefer to call him Vincent Kompany. They appreciate what he's doing, but they urged him to always also give more trust to the academy. And that's why we have the likes of Leonard Carr coming through the academy. So now many teams are also looking at what the granary has, I may say, if I may put it that way, to see what youngsters can we bring on. But one thing that they're cautious about is not to go beyond or below the threshold of 16. Remember, these are youngsters who, if you go below that, we're talking about high school students who are really pretty, very, very, very young. And they don't want to come with a distraction from them to feel that they are already stars. Last but not least, one thing I like about the Bundesliga and the management of the Football Association is that these kids, I'll say so, they're given therapy sessions to tell them, much as you're playing for the big team, the road is still very long and don't think you've made it.
Well, not just that. It's not just sort of a mental sort of way of looking at it. It's also a physical thing. There are some players who are real veterans of the Bundesliga, 30-year-old men. It is literally in a case of men against boys in some cases, no matter how skilled Leonard Carl is. I mean, or Lamine Yamal, who of course lit up the Euro Cup as a 16-year-old.
The boys are still young. They're still growing. The body system is still growing,
It's hard to believe. I mean, Lamine Yamal feels like a veteran, but he's also still a teenager. So it's pretty crazy.
I can see when he loses, he's really close to crying. Like when Barca was kicked out even though it won against Atletico. Could see just missing to cry. Only that, yeah, they have a good coach.
I
First
believe
yellow
it's
card.
Pruss who has finally had enough of being of tough challenges from Dortmund and now goes into the book himself here. Takes actually quite a strong challenge on Rami Benzabaini over there. So Pruss goes into the referee's book. And despite all the fouls in this game, we've actually only had 2 yellow cards, both coming to Hoffenheim players. Quite a surprising statistic that. This is considering the amount of injuries we've already seen.
It's really, really, really amazing. Little bit unusual. The stadium is quiet. They're expecting a goal from each side. But in all fairness, at least now, Dortmund is pressing on.
Dortmund is, but they've not been very effective, have they, Isaac? They've not been able to get balls. They've had a lot of crosses. They've used their wings a lot, but they've been unable to make dangerous crosses.
Yeah, to break in. I think Svensson is doing so much donkey work on the right flank.
Well, Svensson has now come off, but certainly he was, and Ryerson as well.
No, rather Ryerson. Yeah, their names tend to
yeah.
confuse me. Ryerson and Svensson. At the end with the son, they must be Scandinavians.
Yeah, that's true. They're both blonde, it's true. And but yeah, I agree with you totally that they've been doing a lot of work. But I have to say, Oliver Baumann has had a busy game, but he's not had any saves to make. He's been collecting balls. He's been punching balls out of the box. Doesn't matter. The Hoffenheim fans love it here.
They love it. And perhaps one person who will be so glad is Dietmar Hopp, the owner, the billionaire who's invested millions and millions into Hoffenheim since 1989.
Well, for a lot of we have to explain, Isaac, to a lot of our fans that Hoffenheim isn't actually is a very much an opposite club to Dortmund, don't you think? In a sense that Dortmund is a traditional German club, whereas Hoffenheim is not a traditional.
Yeah, it's not Hoffenheim. It's like when you look at its journey into the Bundesliga, how it climbed up through all the leagues. For me, I think, well, sometimes I tend to think, let me put it that way, cautiously, that Hoffenheim belongs to the SAP company.
SAP company is, of course, a big tech firm.
Just like Leverkusen belongs to Bayer, to the Bayer Pharmaceuticals company. I mean, they've been on the jerseys for many, many years. And Bayer Leverkusen is Bayer. And so Hoffenheim, I think, is also SAP. Because Dietmar Hopp has invested, we're talking about more than 350 million euros into SAP.
And the village of Sinsheim, I mean, we do have to describe it as a village, actually, because if you're traveling past the town of Sinsheim, the biggest thing in that town is, in fact, the Prezero Arena. It's the biggest thing there. In fact, at one point, the stadium could house more people than in the village, than the population of the village. Yeah, true.
That's amazing statistics. Yeah. It's amazing. In Germany, this is where you find all sorts of amazing things in the Bundesliga, like Heidenheim. They have the smallest pitch, 15,000, yet actually at the Signal Iduna Park in Dortmund, they have a section that can hold more than 25,000.
For the away fans, yeah. And here they come, Hoffenheim. They've launched an attack. It's been long and slow, but they've managed to get the ball forward, and Sufal is unable to make the most of that cross as he lumbers across the pitch to try and, I guess, launch another long throw. Isaac, we've had so much fun. We haven't updated our fans on exactly how much time is left in this game. With all the injuries in there, we're actually only on the 81st minute, believe it or not.
Yeah.
As this long throw comes in, but not much comes of it. Benzabaini is able to mark his man and get the ball out of harm's way. Do have to let our fans know that the other matches are sort of quite a bit further ahead of us by about a factor of 5 or 6 minutes. Because of all the injuries we've seen in this game.
Exactly. Yeah. And also we have to mention also that Hamburg has scored a goal against...
danger here. Can they get a goal, Hoffenheim? A comedy of errors, which eventually gets blown as an offside. And it's actually a goal kick. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. Some of our fans in Uganda, I'm getting some private messages just saying that They can get us loud and clear, and they are enjoying the banter and the statistics that we're giving about. He says the facts and statistics we are giving about the two teams, because he goes on to say they were listening from a bar somewhere in the outskirts of Uganda, and they didn't know about the team playing against Dortmund, Hoffenheim. So,
yeah. No, Hoffenheim is a big success story for many clubs in the Bundesliga. Actually, in some regards, also a model of how you can build a successful Bundesliga club. And that, I think, will only increase, Isaac, if they do get into the Champions League, but that's still a way away now.
Yeah, Max Most coming on for Tim
Lempeler, the striker who has had a thankless task. I think he's played okay, honestly, but he's had to do a lot of running, and I think he's run out of power now. He's literally strolling across the pitch because I think he's run out of steam. He's really tired. He gets a big congratulations from his coach for doing a quite thankless work up front, and he's replaced by Merstedt, number 33 for Hoffenheim. But Isaac, we were about to tell our fans of the other matches. Leverkusen still drawing against Augsburg. I kind of thought Leverkusen would win that, but who knows? That still got about 3 minutes left in that match. Werder Bremen have taken the lead against Hamburg in the Northern Derby, while Union Berlin are still 2-0 behind to Wolfsburg. That will be a big result for Wolfsburg if it stays that way. However, they're still very deep in the relegation zone, or Wolfsburg.
Yeah, amazing. Surprisingly, yes. For Augsburg, by the way, Augsburg is not an easy walk.
Well, Isaac, would you have bet at the beginning of the season that Wolfsburg would be in the relegation zone?
Even up to now, I can't really get it. It's still hard for me to stomach, because sometimes when big teams are relegated, just like when Berlin.
This could be a red card if we're not. The referee has just shown the Dortmund player here, Nico Schlotterbeck, the captain of Dortmund, a yellow card, but he's lucky. I think this could also have been a red card, because it was pretty much a professional foul here. He was very close to being the last man, but the referee took into account there was another defender close behind. So I think that's a lucky one for him.
It's a lucky one. It's a lucky escape. It's a lucky escape. As we get to the last minutes of official play, sometimes players get to be disoriented, especially if they are on the losing side. Like was the case previously. Dortmund players got disoriented. And I can see the same situation almost. Sergio gets a knock.
Oh, that looked very bad. Sergio Guirassy got hit in the head there, and he's not moved. He's fallen onto the ground. And this actually looked quite bad, because
it's really bad.
I mean, hopefully he's okay, but maybe it looked worse. But there's a clash of heads between Özcan Kabak and Sergio Guirassy. Clash of heads. That looked quite bad. His head snapped back, and he's not moved. I don't think there was any any bad intent there, but
not really. When they go up with heads up, unless one raises the elbow, but Nico Kovacs is not so amused.
He's trying to remonstrate with the referee that it was an elbow to the head, but I think it was more a clash of heads here.
I didn't see the elbow, but if the elbow, in case the elbow was involved, then the VAR could
upgrade that to a red card. Actually, it's quite a dangerous thing.
I didn't see the elbow. And I have the screen just in front of me here.
Özcan Kabak came out of that clash without any problems. But I have to say, for Kovac, this must have been a very chastening match to be the coach of. I mean, they were unlucky to lose Zula early in the game, but his team has shown.
Or maybe let's go and come away with a draw, which I don't think was the case. But sometimes football doesn't go the way you've planned it.
Well, referee Ziebert here needs to be careful that this game doesn't get out of control with both of the players throwing very niggly challenges in both directions. Everybody on the Dortmund team seems upset.
They are.
Yeah.
They're absolutely upset. And they can understand where they're coming from, because the previous game they were sure of all the odds were for Dortmund. but they lost to Leverkusen. And now losing to Hoffenheim, oh, come on.
No.
That's,
The good news, Isaac, is that Serhou Guirassy is up and running after the clash of heads. He seems okay now. He's back in the number 9 position. He's not been very effective since he's come on, though, has he?
No, not yet. He's been marked by 2 defenders, and it takes him ages to turn. Let's see whether he turns perfectly. Shoot it!
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Talk about the devil, that's what he's expected to do.
Well, I guess you can't put it anything else. Commentators curse. We're talking about how ineffective Guirassy is.
He's standing and then he does it.
And he gets the ball once on the edge of the box, turns around and whips an unstoppable right-footed shot.
Is the replay? We're talking about how it takes ages for turning, and then he gets it, turns,
I mean, this came out of nowhere, but is this offside?
No, it's not.
No, it's looking very much onside.
Onside. One turn. That was it.
Oh, my goodness.
That second touch of the ball was risky. You see how he does it? He first turns and then...
Boom, a right-footed drive into the bottom left-hand corner. Oliver Baumann, who's not faced a single shot all game, can't get anywhere near this one.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a really great striker's goal.
No pun intended. It's 1-1 for Dortmund now. But Kai, what I was talking about is turning, and what people have been saying, he tends to turn times 2. Then that second touch of the ball, more often, if there's the defender close by, they'll steal the ball away.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Just so as another example of how you can never know what's going to happen, I was literally about to talk about how great Hoffenheim has been marking, and now they really let themselves down there. They gave Guirassy way too much space, and they've paid for it. They dominated the game for so long, and now they find themselves having to share points with a very much a subpar Dortmund team, I have to say.
Exactly. Now it's 1-1. If I can give an example of Harry Kane when he turns as a number 9 in such positions, he makes sure he gives himself one pass, and then the second touch of the ball is a shot. So, but anyway, congratulations to Serhou Guirassy. He has silenced all the critics, including yours truly here, myself, by scoring that much-needed goal. At least now they can comfortably share the spoils. It's 1-1. He's still touching where he got that knock from Bernardo, was it? Yeah.
No, from Özcan Kabak.
From Özcan Kabak, yes, rather, because it was a defender.
Well, we now actually theoretically only have 1 minute left in this game, but I can't imagine that there won't be any added minutes of stoppage time. The question is, can Hoffenheim come back and get a winner here? They've played better for most periods of the game, but can they rouse themselves to get a winner in the last minutes here?
Yes. And the draw at the moment throws back Hoffenheim in the 6th position or place on the table. Leverkusen leaps back in the 5th, which makes it, a candidate for the UEFA League. Hoffenheim, of course, also qualifies for UEFA Conference League, assuming things remain this way.
Well, and across the Bundesliga, there are obviously other matches ongoing. Union Berlin have managed to pull 1 goal back there in stoppage time in that match. They're only 2-1 down to Wolfsburg. Can they get another one? We'll have to see. They've played better in the second half, that's for sure. Werder Bremen have scored another goal against Hamburg. They're winning that game 3-1, whereas Leverkusen have still not managed to get another goal. That game against Augsburg was 1-1 as well. And Isaac, can you imagine that somehow Dortmund can steal this game? I mean, it would be theft. It would be theft.
It will be the theft of the weekend. Absolutely. I agree with you because they will leap 9 points again. Okay.
What? Ball is in the middle of the box. It's now Ryerson. Can he make something happen? It goes across all the way to the right. And the cross comes in. It's good. And it finds another Dortmund player. A cross comes in. That's a really good save by Olli Baumann. Wow.
Wow.
Julian Brandt.
And we have 6 minutes of added time.
Sorry, not Julian Brandt. It was Maxi Bayer who actually got on the end of that one. A really good save there from Olli Baumann to keep it in keep his team level there. Wow.
I think
Wow.
the subs have brought on the much-needed impact.
Yeah, certainly Guirassi's made a difference by scoring.
There was a push. The ref says take it back again. I mean,
The referee, has he blown a foul or has he asked them to retake it?
he's telling them to stop the shoves and the pulls and, all the unsavory things they're doing especially Suka.
Well, I have to say, in the last few minutes, there's noise in the stadium, but it's all coming from the Dortmund fans
The
now.
expected suspects, yes, the usual suspects, the noisy Dortmund fans.
And they are good at corners. Comes right across, but Baumann gets to that, punches the ball out of danger. Hoffenheim try their best to secure the ball, which they sort of do. It goes out of play, but Dortmund have the goal. The referee has just indicated for another throw-in.
Yeah, how the ball curved from outside onto the pitch, strange physics.
The momentum, though, is definitely with Dortmund in these closing stages.
Yes, Dortmund are pressing on. They really want to steal, like you said, 2 goals. With 4 minutes left of the game.
Well,
it's
4
more than
minutes
enough.
of the 6 minutes.
Of the 6 minutes.
Yeah, that was it. We got 6 minutes of added time in this half, yeah.
And let's see whether they still could be a draw match. They'd be lucky to run away with a draw.
Well. Dortmund have, honestly, in the last 30 minutes or so, had a lot more possession than Hoffenheim. Perhaps Hoffenheim created their own problems by not seeking a second goal to kill this match off. But here they come. Is there an opportunity for them to attack? They move forward on the left wing side. Pruss running on the left. He's got support. He's given a really good cross, but Waldemar Anton is there Schlotterbeck is there to header that ball out of danger. Hoffenheim still up front here. Can they get a winner? Fisnik has it. He leaves it for his countryman Abdali. Ball comes across. A kick to the midriff here accidentally. Do believe that Merstead all wanted to do was actually just get the ball, but all he got was Maxi Bayer's midriff there. Shame. Ouch.
It's a shame.
Ow. He went across and apologized straight away. I don't think there's any malintent there, but the referee has indicated that this is going to be a corner kick, or what's going on now?
Fair play, kind of.
I think they're actually wanting the ball. The referee has had a word in his ear about something. We're going to have to see what's going to come next. Initially, I believe that the referee has now indicated it's going to be a goal kick. After all of that,
he thought maybe the foot didn't get to Molstedt.
Yeah.
And instead, he stopped the ball with his hands. Daniel Zibert is serious about using your hands to play rather than your foot. Says, hold on. He's consulting. Could be a possible penalty. If
yeah, we'd have to see. Let's see.
Oh, no.
Well,
that's a handball.
I don't know about this. We'll have to see. Did it touch? It's hard to tell.
Touch the ball thinly.
Well, actually, the Hoffenheim players, just to explain to our listeners, is that Hoffenheim claimed that the initial cross, there was a handball on the initial cross, and that potentially there's a penalty here.
Possible penalty.
And we know where this often leads. When the referee comes across to have a look at the...
Amused. Resonance amused.
The referee has come across to have a look at the VAR screen to see if this is he was in the box and his hand was up, and the question is, did he actually use his hand to stop the ball? Oh my goodness, this will be tough. And it is Ryerson who, is it in the box? We have to see. Was the ball in the box?
They'd be lucky to run away with that, Kai, because when you're inside the box, you have to be on the surface side to put your hands down and defend with your chest.
Isaac, this is too much tension for me now. I can't believe it. I can't do another one of these decisions. Let's see what the referee says. Referee's had not the easiest game, has he?
Überprüft wurde ein mögliches Handspiel von Spielerei. Nach Ansicht der Bilder liegt ein strafbares Handspiel.
Penalty.
And the referee
Entscheidung, Elfmeter Hoffenheim.
and the referee has had to give a penalty in the
Grammar
last
is
minute.
stepping up the plates.
Can you believe it? The 6 minutes are over. Gregor Korbel is in the goal, has to face a last-minute spot kick.
And he's the man to save Dortmund at this stage.
And Ryerson cannot believe it. This is the second handball penalty they've given away. Now, the stats are not necessarily in Dortmund's favor, because when Hoffenheim are leading at halftime, that's happened 8 times this season, they've won all 8. And Andre Kramaric, who's about to take the penalty, has scored his last penalty, and he's well known as being one of the best spot kick takers
But he
in
has
the
used all
league.
his strength this time. No tricks around the penalties. It has
So,
to be a strong one.
I can't deal with the tension right now, Isaac.
Yeah. So let's
Kramaric
see.
lines up.
Kramaric, you're going to have to be strong this time. Don't try those tricks of sloppy penalties, or else he's going to... sends him the wrong way.
Wow. He makes no mistake, does Kramaric.
Same spot, same man. Kramaric gives the victory, as we said, to Hoffenheim.
Isaac, you're going to have to take over. I can't stand. I'm shaking with too much tension in this game now.
The tension, Kai, don't worry. It's almost over. We're in the 7th minute.
Are you sure it's almost over? I'm sure
It
this
is.
game has more twists in it.
It is, because we have passed the 6 minutes of added time, and Hoffenheim,
Well,
2 goals from penalties for handballs. And
my goodness, this has been a very strange match to commentate, because honestly, Dortmund looked like they were playing a lot better in this last section, and another handball, and essentially Kramaric is the hero. He takes another really good penalty, and
he sends him the wrong way. Shoots in the right, and the goalkeeper goes on the left side.
if you're a young player wanting to know how to play mind games with a goalkeeper as a penalty taker, Kramaric just played Korbel excellently there.
Excellent. I mean, he's an experienced player. He seen it all, done it all at the national level, at club level. So for me, I'm not surprised when such players, even when they miss out. So it's not surprising. Oh,
Wow. So, Isaac, how many more minutes will we have in this game?
I think now we're in the 8th minute, coming to the
But they will surely be a few more minutes, won't they? Because there was a long check for the VAR.
Exactly. At least 1 minute. Oh, who is this now down?
Benzebaini's on the
Benzebaini.
floor. Not that far from the box. My goodness. All right. Let's have a look at the results in the other matches so far. We can see that there's another game that's going on for a really long time. That's Werder Bremen against Hamburg. And they're in the 11th minute of stoppage time, believe it or not.
That was a handball.
The replay, yeah. And what we can also tell you is that Union Berlin have officially lost to Wolfsburg in that match, 2-1. And the other game has ended. What a shock result here, actually. Leverkusen losing at home to Augsburg.
Yes. Oh, no, that's a foul. A yellow card, possibly.
This match simply has got more drama in it.
Inacios gets a card for trying to interfere with the referee's work.
Okay, well, we need to unpack what happened here. First, the Hoffenheim defender, Hajdari, went down just outside the box. The referee did not blow the whistle for a foul. This was a fair challenge. It looks like it was just a clash of bodies. Guirassy was involved.
Yeah.
And then a very clear foul from, in retrospect, doesn't look like such a foul, from Kramaric on the edge of the box and literally on the D. Now, Siebert has shown a yellow card to
the wrong one, I think, to the wrong player, and the ref. I mean, we've just been seeing scenes of the Hoffenheim bench. They're all up. They think they have won the game and went beyond time. The 6 minutes and the penalty. Look at his face, Mr. Messi Ilza.
Christian Ilse does not look happy at this point.
He's not.
But Isaac, so what has happened? Julian Ryerson got a yellow card for remonstrating with the referee about the penalty that Hoffenheim got. And now another yellow card has been given to coach Christian Ilse for remonstrating with the referee about the free kick that Dortmund have. Now, what drama would we have if this were to end up in the back of the net?
This would be celebration for Dortmund and commiserations for the whole blue stadium here. But we can see that the wall is really, really...
Everybody is behind the ball here.
Yes. Including press, who decided to lay on the ground, lay down behind the wall.
Okay, just for our fans to know, this penalty, it's essentially a penalty, but a free kick, just outside the D, exactly in the middle.
In the middle.
Yeah.
You need a pro here.
Schlotterbeck or Julian Brandt, who is going to kick it?
Oh!
It's Julian Brandt. But he misses.
That must have been a very wide one. Julian Brandt has not been so lucky with free kicks.
We actually missed it because the transmission actually showed the wrong shot. It was a dipping free kick that just went over the bar. Well, didn't miss by much, actually.
Yeah. Oh, no. That was their last chance.
Surely that is that for this match.
That was their last chance, and the whistles urging on the referee to end the match.
We're in the 13th minute of stoppage time.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But now he ends it.
And yes, the referee has finally blown the whistle.
The referee has finally heard Kai and said, okay, let me stop the game before Kai reminds me again. We are seeing hugs here from Kramaric and all the Hoffenheim players. They've done it. They've done it.
Wow, wow,
On their
wow.
turf. They've done it, and Niko Kovac won't be so happy. I know, as expected, we'll go and have a word with the referee, but he's always normally a cool guy, a cool manager at that. Even though games don't go his way, he has a way. He kind of maintains his temper. Ben Sebaini can't believe it. He was very unlike a guy. He came on to substitute Niklas Zule, and he's like, what's going on? I'm replacing someone and you guys are starting the penalty even before I touch the ball.
Well, I can only tell you that this has been one of the strangest games I've ever commentated, honestly. And honestly, when that penalty went in for Hoffenheim, I was shaking. Isaac can see me in the studio here, but the fans can't, but I can be honest and tell you, because the tension is unbelievable. And what a strange game, I have to say. Because neither team, I think, played to about 80% even of their capability, but it ends with Hoffenheim winning the match 2-1.
But perhaps another surprise is Augsburg that has stolen Bayer Leverkusen's victory. It went to visit and came back with glory. What an amazing way of traveling back that journey of 4.5 hours on the train with a victory. And I can imagine Augsburg fans are just like, their Bavarian counterparts, Bayern Munich. The singing, the chanting will be on the train, and they will.
Well, Augsburg can thank that Swiss international Florian Rieder for scoring a double. The last goal coming in the 90th plus 7th minute of stoppage time, and cancelling out Patrick Schick's early go-ahead goal there. And this match ends 2-1. Means we have some interesting look at the table now, because Hoffenheim, after winning this match, actually go up to 5th.
Yeah.
They've leapfrogged Leverkusen. Now they're on 54 points. Leverkusen's on 52. And Dortmund, I honestly think, have just handed the title over to Bayern Munich.
They have. As expected, the cameras are showing us Niko Kovac having not so kind words with the referees, pointing at the spot where Niklas Zule fell and all that. I mean, the reports will tell it all, and maybe the interviews, the aftermatch interviews, Hoffenheimers gather around, to get that very important, as the Dortmund fans also gather in front of the players gather in front of their fans to appreciate their presence.
And I mean, I think nobody can quite believe what has happened here. Kovac is still, I think, having a discussion with his team about what went wrong in this game.
2 penalties, I think sometimes can be too much. especially one penalty in the dying minutes. And of course, the first one also, Kai, we agreed in at halftime that no one was thought about it, and until maybe someone in the VAR said, "Oh, there might have been."
Nicholas
right. Might have stopped the ball with the hand, but no one was complaining about it, and so.
Well, Isaac, one thing we should do, because we're not quite done with the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga, we are almost done with our transmission, but the Bundesliga carries on. And one of the things we should be talking about is, of course, the upcoming match between Eintracht Frankfurt and RB Leipzig. And we just have the lineups have just been announced for that match. That's coming in later today. Just let's have a look here on Frankfurt starting lineup. Zetterer in goal, Tiate on the left, in the defense with Robin Koch and Aurelie Amanda. We've got Nathaniel Brown, Jolund, Larson Shaibi in the midfield with Ayub on the right forward position and Kalimuendo as well, and Burkhardt up front.
Yes, and I think the time, I don't know.
We're running out of time. It's true at this stage. There's also a lineup for Leipzig. They've got Nusa, Romelu, and Jan Diomande, the Ivorian, up front. But we don't have too much time to go along with that. So from me, Kaineb, it's been a real pleasure commentating this crazy game. See you next time.
And from me, Isaac, have a splendid weekend ahead.
DW. Made for Minds.